Welcome to Safe Haven Radio. Thank you so much for joining us today. I know that many of you might be carrying the weight of a recent work mistake, perhaps replaying it over and over in your mind, wondering if you've let everyone down. Let's explore together how we can transform these difficult experiences into opportunities for growth and resilience. Today, we're going to talk about something that every single one of us experiences but rarely discuss openly: work failures and how our brains are actually designed to help us bounce back stronger. Whether you made an error in judgment, missed an important deadline, or feel like you've disappointed your team, please know that you're not alone in this experience. In fact, research shows that how we respond to these moments can fundamentally shape our professional and personal development. I want you to know that it's completely normal to feel overwhelmed, anxious, or even ashamed after a work failure. These emotions are part of being human, and they don't define your worth or your capabilities. What we'll explore today are evidence-based strategies that can help you not just recover, but actually grow from these experiences. Please remember that while these techniques are powerful, if you're experiencing persistent distress or symptoms that interfere with your daily life, it's important to seek professional support. There's no shame in reaching out for help. It's actually a sign of strength and self-awareness. Let's start by understanding what the latest scientific research tells us about resilience and recovery from workplace setbacks. A comprehensive meta-analysis from a major research institution in 2024, which analyzed 83 different studies on resilience interventions, found something remarkable. Participants who engaged in structured resilience practices showed moderate to large improvements in their ability to bounce back from failures. This isn't just about feeling better temporarily, these are lasting changes in how our brains process and respond to setbacks. What's particularly fascinating is research from 2025 that examined the relationship between self-compassion and what psychologists call post-traumatic growth. This groundbreaking study found that individuals who practiced self-compassion, treating themselves with the same kindness they'd show a good friend, were significantly more likely to experience psychological growth after difficult experiences, even when they were still processing the emotional pain. The research demonstrated that self-compassion acts as a protective buffer, allowing us to learn from our mistakes without getting trapped in cycles of self-criticism. Neuroscience research from a leading research institution has revealed something extraordinary about how our brains respond to failure. Using advanced brain imaging technology, researchers discovered that individuals with what's called a growth mindset, the belief that abilities can be developed through effort and learning, show distinctly different brain patterns when they encounter mistakes. Their brains display higher post-error accuracy and actually reduced activity in the areas associated with threat detection and stress. This means that how we think about failure literally changes how our brain processes it. Another fascinating finding comes from workplace-specific research conducted in 2024. After analyzing 24 separate studies involving thousands of professionals, researchers found that positive psychological interventions, structured practices designed to enhance well-being, led to significant improvements not just in how people felt, but in their actual job performance. The effect sizes were particularly strong for subjective well-being and psychological well-being, with in-person interventions showing even greater effectiveness than online approaches. Now, let's explore the practical methods you can start using today to transform your experience of work failures. The first technique I want to share with you is called the two-step cognitive reframing process, which is backed by extensive neuroscience research. This isn't about positive thinking or pretending everything is fine, it's about training your brain to process information more adaptively. Step 1 involves identifying cognitive distortions when you think about your failure. Are you catastrophizing, imagining the worst possible outcomes? Are you engaging in all or nothing thinking, believing that this one mistake defines your entire career? Take a moment to write down your thoughts about the failure, then look for these patterns. Research shows that simply naming these distortions begins to reduce their power over us. Step 2 is deliberately reappraising the situation. Ask yourself specific questions. What can I learn from this experience? How might this challenge strengthen me for future situations? What skills or insights am I developing right now that I wouldn't have gained without this setback? Practice this reframing for just 10 minutes each morning, ideally when your cortisol levels naturally support cognitive flexibility. Studies show that consistent practice of this technique actually changes the neural pathways in your brain, making resilient thinking more automatic over time. The next method I want to share is the practice of self-compassion breaks, which you can implement throughout your workday. Research has identified 3 essential components of self-compassion. First, acknowledge your suffering without minimizing it. Yes, this is hard, and it's okay to feel upset. Second, remember that failure is part of the shared human experience. You're not the only person who has ever made a mistake at work. Third, offer yourself the same kindness you'd give to a friend facing the same situation. Here's how to practice this. Set gentle reminders on your phone every 3 hours. When the reminder goes off, take just 2 minutes to pause and go through these 3 steps. You might say to yourself something like, "This is a moment of difficulty. Making mistakes is part of being human. May I be kind to myself in this moment?" Research shows that this simple practice, when done consistently, significantly reduces anxiety and increases emotional resilience. Building psychological safety through structured reflection is another powerful technique. Every evening, take 10 minutes to write down 3 specific lessons you learned from the day's challenges. These don't have to be profound insights. They can be small observations like, "I work better when I take breaks," or, "Asking for clarification prevents misunderstandings." Then write 1 concrete action step for tomorrow based on these lessons. Studies indicate that this practice, when maintained for just 21 days, significantly increases markers of post-traumatic growth and professional development. I also want to share with you how to activate your growth mindset neural pathways. When you face criticism or recognize a failure, immediately write down what specific information this provides about skill gaps or areas for improvement. Instead of thinking, "I'm terrible at presentations," you might write, "I need to practice organizing my thoughts more clearly," or, "I could benefit from learning about visual design principles." This approach has been shown to reduce activity in the amygdala, the brain's alarm system, while increasing engagement in the prefrontal cortex, which is responsible for planning and problem-solving. Create what researchers call a resilience ritual by combining visualization with goal setting. Spend 5 minutes each morning visualizing yourself successfully navigating a challenging situation. See yourself staying calm, thinking clearly, and finding solutions. Then set 1 specific, measurable goal related to skill development for that day. This could be as simple as, "I will ask 1 clarifying question in today's meeting," or, "I will review my work once before submitting it." This dual approach has been proven to increase both persistence and adaptability in professional settings. It's important to understand that these practices work best when adapted to your individual needs and circumstances. Start with just 1 technique that resonates with you, and practice it consistently for a week before adding another. Remember, you're not trying to eliminate all negative emotions or pretend that failures don't hurt. You're building your capacity to process these experiences in ways that promote growth rather than getting stuck in self-criticism. Now let's summarize the key points we've discussed today. First, self-compassion significantly amplifies post-traumatic growth after failures, acting as a protective psychological buffer. Second, cognitive reappraisal literally rewires your brain's stress response patterns, making you more resilient over time. Third, adopting a growth mindset reduces neural overactivation during mistakes, allowing you to think more clearly. Fourth, maintaining social connections accelerates psychological recovery from setbacks. You don't have to go through this alone. Fifth, daily reflection practices transform failures into concrete learning opportunities. And sixth, resilience interventions have been scientifically proven to show moderate to large positive effects. As we come to the end of today's discussion, I want to leave you with this thought. Your brain is already equipped with powerful mechanisms to transform work failures into growth opportunities. You don't need to acquire some special ability or become a different person. These evidence-based techniques simply help you activate and strengthen the resilience systems that already exist within you. Start with just one method today. Choose the one that feels most manageable and commit to practicing it for the next week. Watch how your relationship with failure begins to shift. Remember, every successful person you admire has failed countless times. What distinguishes them isn't the absence of failure, but their ability to harness those experiences for growth and learning. Please be patient and compassionate with yourself as you practice these techniques. Change doesn't happen overnight, and that's perfectly okay. Small, consistent steps lead to profound transformation over time. You're already taking an important step by listening today and considering new ways to approach challenges. If today's content provided you with any support or new insights, please hit the like button. It helps others who might be struggling with similar challenges find this information. And if you'd like to continue learning about evidence-based mental health strategies, please subscribe to Safe Haven Radio. We're here to support your journey toward greater psychological well-being and resilience. May your hearts feel a little lighter knowing that failure isn't the end of your story. It's often the beginning of your most important growth. Thank you so much for listening to Safe Haven Radio, and remember, you have everything you need within you to bounce back stronger than before.